We understand he's well. I've seen a video of him now walking off the rescue helicopter. He looked fine. He's in the hospital at the moment. I understand he has some cuts, but otherwise, apart from the shock, I imagine he is okay.
Have you had a conversation with him about what happened, what he saw?
He has very briefly spoken to his mother this evening. We understand he was on his way back from a rig, and the helicopter lost power suddenly and immediately ditched into the water. He managed to escape straight away because he was right by an exit, and I understand soon afterwards that the helicopter turned over.
Did he describe to you at all the conditions on board in those seconds as it hit the water? Not at all. The only thing he said that he felt he had been quite lucky in his outcome, and he felt quite fortunate to have just walked away quite as he did. And how long has he been working on the oil or gas platforms for? And has he ever talked to you about the training that they go through for such eventualities?
Yeah, he hasn't actually been working on the rigs for very long. He took this job earlier this year, so he's only been doing it for 4 or 5 months. But before he went to the rigs, there was a period of quite intensive training, including evacuation procedures from helicopters that ditch in the water, and he had training in effect in a simulator for this kind of eventuality.
So for such an eventuality as this, and we were speaking a little earlier, Dr. Bull, to Jim Nicholson. He's the rescue coordinator for the RNLI. He described the conditions as a fresh wind, but at 6:20 when this happened, it was still light with a little mist. Did your son mention at all what the conditions were like before what he thought was a loss of power?
No, he gave it no information at all. All he says is that it was completely unexpected and there was no warning of a problem.
By the sound of things really happened very, very quickly.
It appears so. It appears that they had just a few seconds before the helicopter hit the water. We haven't had a detailed conversation with him about what happened, but obviously we were very reassured to hear that he was fine.
And how soon after the helicopter ditched were you able to speak to him? How long was it while you were waiting to find out what had happened to him?
Well, we were very fortunate because actually the first we heard that there had been a helicopter crash was him phoning us to tell us he was all right. So we were really lucky because otherwise, had we have seen the news beforehand, we knew he was on his way back this evening. So we would have known that there was a reasonable chance he was on that particular helicopter and would have worried. But fortunately, we had the news he was safe before we heard the news about the helicopter crash.